I lived! If you didn't know already, Artfight is a yearly event spanning the whole of July, where the gist is there's three teams, and you get points to your team by drawing people's characters. What? And basically this year I was really busy, so I didn't do that much, but I did 11, count them, 11 attacks. And I'm gonna show you them now, I guess. Did you work out how we're gonna like segue to the next part? No, I thought you were doing that. What? No. If you haven't seen my Artfight prep video, you wouldn't know this, but I was very, very late to Artfight, guys. It took me about a week into the event to have my references done, and then I made the video, so that put me even more back. It meant I had a lot to catch up on, guys. But here it is, my first attack, which is a revenge for Wolfgirl Stewart, who made this really freaking fire drawing of Erin Diverage. I love so much. I love Erin Diverage. Yay! Anyway, at first I was gonna draw that character the night, but then I remembered I don't know how I can't draw faces that well. So I had this like vision of like bro like being all like brooding, like, oh, I have my youngest life. Couldn't do it. So I thought I'd dabble in drawing this character, Kiki, who is described as like the court mage and jester. And in the description says she is seldom seen without their mask. Her identity is their biggest secret. So I thought, ooh, get a little mysterious. A little bit of dark lighting. And then guess what, guys? Guess who forgot to record the shading potion? Oops. Anyway, I was pretty pleased with how this one came out. It came together fairly quick. There was one bit where I had like a moment where I was like, wait, I don't know how the mask works under the hat, because the angles of the reference don't show if the mask is like the ears in the hat are from the shape of the mask, or the hat just has the ears. And I was like, ooh! But then I just did all of the above, I guess, and just hoped that it was alright. And yeah, here's the final piece. So at this point, I had like a bit of a merger going. Like, let me bring in another one. So chronologically, my next revenge to do was for Ocean the Rat, who did this lovely little drawing of Daz. So I looked at their characters, and they had this character called Jolly Blue, who in fact was very, very jolly. Like, it's a really, like, simple but, like, effective design. I was like, oh, love you, little Jolly Blue. A kind soul. So I thought I'd just them doing a silly little pose, and I thought, oh my god, I've drawn like a jester character, and then I've drawn a clown character. I should keep it up. I should get a hat trick of jestery little clowny people, which totally happened, guys. I didn't immediately break it after this one. I'd never do such a thing. Here's the drawing! Whoa! So you might notice this is not really a clown or jester-esque character. But I promise I have a reason, guys. So I was starting on another clown-esque, jester-esque character, which was also another revenge. And I was getting kind of stumped. It was late at night. I was like, I'm doing 3 attacks in one day. Let me just sit back. I'll leave it till the morning when I have more brain capacity. And I went to just like, final thing, check my comments. And then I saw this good design by Razuri in the recent characters. And I look at their profile, like they must have just set it up, because like, no attacks on any character. And I was like, holy moly, I could be the first. Have the honors of being this person's first Artfight attack. So then suddenly I wasn't going to sleep, and then suddenly I was up until about 3 AM doing this one. But it was kind of worth it, guys. I like struggled a bit trying to like interpret the reference image. I was like, I'm just dumb. I can't look out the cloak and stuff, because each image was like slightly different. So I was like, now it just looks like I don't know how to draw like a cloak, and that it's like really short on one side, but I think that's kind of maybe the reference image. I don't know. But I was quite proud of how like the face came out and stuff. I kind of wish I pushed the shading a bit more, but that's kind of my weak point, to be honest. I kind of suck at colours, guys. And I definitely won't have any rage about that later in the video. And I was doing some airbrushes, like this looks terrible! But overall, pretty pleased. I did manage to get in, just in the nick of time as their first attack, because I checked back like a couple minutes later, there was another one. Yep. But I was the first. Remember this. The Wrath of Denk. Big happy. Right, so back on the clown character grind is a revenge for Hell with Perks, who drew this awesome attack of my character Patience, which I loved so much! This is their character Hijinx, and so Patience has a big hammer and is quite violent. Their character Hijinx, a clown character, how convenient, has a big hammer and is quite violent, so I was like, well, if you're gonna draw my violent hammer person, I'll draw your violent hammer person. It's a genius strategy. So my vision was like, because the whole circus theme and looking at the reference images, drawing on like a tent, a big top tent, like with the hammer like dragging behind her, trilling but all ominous, like, oh, she's so freaking dark and twisted, killing people and stuff. But I really struggled to get like the angle right and frame it, which is why I meant to go to bed and then didn't the night before. But I got there in the end-ish. I feel like I could have pushed it more. And, like, I don't know. Especially because I added, like, when I was colouring it, I was like, oh, it's not dark enough, the atmosphere. Let me chuck some multiply layer, like, vignette around the edge. Then you just can't see, like, the blood trilling of the hammer. So that kind of ruined the whole point. But was I thinking? Apparently not. Not this little brain of mine. Here's the final drawing, guys. Whoa! So I feel like this one needs a little bit of context. My buddies, Pepper Paws, Malona, the Doodle Dot, and Werfsmirk had been playing Peak, and due to the evil curse of time zones, I couldn't play with them. However, they started making Peak Sonas, and I could do that. That's all I got. So, hence I created Squirrel. And I don't know why that's called Squirrel. Everyone else has a fruit-themed sort of name, but it just called to me like some kind of divine intervention, which may have also happened with the idea for this drawing. Because originally I was just going to draw everyone in the exact same pose with this weird stock image I found, but then I just couldn't get the perspective right. I was like, oh, but I want to draw the Peak characters. And I had like a vision. The Peak grabbing mechanic is like... It's like this is so stupid. It's like Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam. So it only made sense to recreate Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam, but with our Peak Sonas. And also Bing Bong, because I needed to fill the space. Am I right, guys? Am I right, guys? I can't lie. This might have been my best one. I might have peaked here. What? Peaked? No way. I'm pretty pleased with it. We've all got matching profile pictures now, and I feel so blessed. One of my biggest achievements. And guys, a little cheeky. Our friend Liz did not have Artfight, so I added her afterwards. Got him. Oh, anyways, guys, this one caused me some turmoil. This is a revenge for my dear friend Soph the Acorn, who drew this really awesome drawing of Erin Tiveridge. Yay! However, when I went to draw her character, I had an aneurysm, maybe, I don't even know. I just felt like I was hitting my head against a wall. So I was looking for the characters, and I decided to draw Nova, because I had this, like, idea, because it's, like, it describes her as a workaholic, and she works in an office, so I'm like, oh my god, she's, like, bent over her desk being like, oh, dull, frustrated with her damn work, it's late at night. Some, like, kind of dark lighting, and all that. But I try and draw it, and I draw like 3 different angles because I cannot work out this stupid arm for the life of me, and I still think it looks too short. But if I like tried to change the angle, it looked worse. So, and I didn't know how to draw the stupid wrist, so I was like, fine, I'll spend an eternity drawing this damn arm if I don't move on. So then I moved on, guys, and I did the line art, which went pretty alright. I was like, oh, maybe all is well. And then I immediately went back to not believing myself and thinking, I'm never gonna be able to draw anything ever again. Because I went to colouring, and I realised, oh my god, I can never colour scenes, I don't even know where to start. What do I even do? I was just doing some random crap. Why is she green? I don't know. I was like, oh, it's like I have like a green lighting, so everything should have a green hue, but she just looked green. And then I was doing some crap with an airbrush, I was like, this looks terrible! So then, I just mess around, and I'm like, wait, I'll just take these darker colours, I'll make a second layer, where I up the saturation, up the brightness, and then from that layer, I'll use a lasso tool, and then airbrush and erase parts of the drawing to make shadow from the dark layer. So I was just like inventing new methods, but it low-key worked. Eventually, after only like a minor crash out and thinking I should quit art and like, never believe in myself ever again, I actually it's alright. Like, I actually like that lighting. I still think I definitely need to, like, learn and grow with scenes and stuff, and it's a weak point, as I mentioned earlier. But, you know what? I did it, guys, and you could see, it's not too muddy, but you can't tell what the hell's going on. So that's enough for me. Yep, here's the drawing. Yay! Guys, looking back at this one, unrelated, but low-key, I wish I'd kept this original pose, it was kinda good. So, oops. Anyway, this is a revenge for Mythologic with a 0, who did one of the most unique and coolest attacks I've ever received. You know me as a gummy bear, guys? It's just real! It's crocheted! They crocheted me as a gummy bear in real freaking life. It's so cool. They also made a video, of their attacks, and I'll link it down below. I kind of featured guys, which is pretty epic. But just the whole video is so cool. Like, I wouldn't know where to start with crocheting things. I think it's awesome. So, everyone should check that out, guys. Anyway, I had to return the favor and do something. And I had this, like, hazy memory of seeing some photo shoot on Pinterest with a bunch of TVs. And their character reference for their Sona Mytho, and also their profile picture on, like, something, I can't remember which social media, has, like, the no signal screen. So I thought it'd be cool to draw them, like, sat among all these TVs, and then as a cheeky little reference, add that fabled no signal screen. So I did that. Yeah, it came together quite quickly because it's, like, a simple design, but it's so fun to draw. Like, lucky, I might just draw them again for the love of the game, because I'm such a fan of their stuff. But, yeah, I whacked in the thing, I did a little cheeky, like, I think it was like an add layer and color dodge to make the TV glow, and then use the color dodge to, like, add the glow onto the character. And that was pretty much it. Kaboom! The final drawing, guys, look at that. Next up was a revenge for my friend Z, who did this absolutely freaking goated Patience drawing. And at first, I was like, no brainer, I'm gonna draw her character Dana, because she's all my favourite colours. But then I was looking at Dana, and I was looking at the other characters, like, I might as well just, like, read the bios, and I saw that Rueth did, like, parkour, and I was like, I just, like, had a vision, like, a shot of, like, jumping between the buildings, and there's, like, a design style from the early 2000s called Metro, and I was like, wait, hear me out. What if I do, like, a kind of, like, scene, but visually, it's, like, Metro. That's what I went for. I, like, found a cheeky little asset pack online, stole some random flip art building things from it, and some swirls and stuff. So I was just gonna manually draw them. I'm like, that's gonna take me so long. So that helped a lot. Found some random splash, and I just kept, like, converting them, taking up the backgrounds, making them black and white, yada yada. And then I had to actually draw her, which was the hard part, because it took me, like, a bajillion years to get the pose right. And I even, like, dropped in some random picture of a guy that was, like, a similar angle to what I was imagining to try and get it right, and it wasn't exactly effective. Plus, I ended up just kind of winging it anyway. And I decided, originally I was going to try and do full colour, but I thought it'd, like, take away, because usually in Metro, the people just, like, whole silhouettes, which I was like, I didn't want to just send them a silhouette of their character. That'd be kind of bummer. I feel like, here's an attack of your character that you can barely see. So I wanted the character to be visible, but I thought if I did full colour, it'd, like, take away from the aesthetic, so I was like, black and white, guys, with some, like, kind of heavy black shading, yada yada. And to be honest, I still feel like the angle on her is, like, not accurate to the rest of the drawing, lucky, but I'm gonna pretend that's, like, a graphic choice to increase the contrast and draw the eye, and that was totally intentional. But I'm still really proud of this, to be honest. Like, it came together pretty freaking awesome. Like, I was only just complaining and raging about, oh my god, I can never do scenes and they never come out right and you can never tell what's going on and stuff. And then I did a scene and you can actually tell what's going on. So that was pretty epic. I think the only thing, though, was that when I first coloured it, I started with, like, this white paint splatter and, like, filled everything above that with white for the sky. And I didn't know how to colour her to make it contrast. So I originally went, like, with a blue kind of, like, half-tone gradient, and then, like, I was like, oh, I'll highlight her hair white, because her hair's, like, literally white. But then I looked at it and I was like, she kind of looks like she's blue now. Which is, like, I know the whole drawing's blue, but it's kind of like she's implying she's blue. So I went back to it and I was like, wait, actually, when I think about it, I could just, like, strip back that top half of the splatter, and then make her all white, and then it's kind of like a highlight to the section instead, and I think that maybe worked better. But I don't know, guys. You tell me. Hashtag comment down below and all that. Next was another revenge for my friend who goes by the username Ma_. I think I nailed that. Who also did another freaking goated Patience attack. It was a great year for the Patience community, which was kind of just me. I'm the Patience community. Anyway, so I thought I'd draw the character Qadyr? Question mark? Because he didn't have any freaking attacks. I was like, well, might as well. Get on in there. Chow down. And he's like a freaking alpine soldier, so I was like drawing with a gun. But I fear I miscalculated my ability to draw guns and people holding guns. So I had quite a mare trying to get this stupid gun to look right. And it got to the point where I was like, it actually would be easier for me to rotate his whole arm and move the gun down, just so I don't have to work out the angle of this hand. So, instead of like learning, guys, fellow artists, instead of like trying to work out how to do things and learning, just rotate. Just rotate things, yeah. We need to learn how to do things. Anyway, at first it was gonna be like, oh, soft freaking winter palette. But then again, because I can't draw guns and I couldn't work out what the hell the hand was doing. And based on my previous attack, I was like, wait a minute. If I do like black shading again, it'll mean I don't have to like work out as many details. I don't have to think with my head nearly as much. I can just like hide half the gun in shadow and not work it out, and then also like add freaking dramatic atmosphere. So really, it was like a totally advanced technique to like bring mood into the drawing, and not because I was too lazy to work out how to draw a gun at all. Never. I didn't make any shortcuts during this. But to be honest, I actually quite liked how it came out. I feel like I'm like experimenting with these last few attacks. I'm like, damn, I've missed doing some like just like more bold colours. Why am I doing all this try to do this painterly nonsense? I can't even do that. I'm crap at it. This is where it's at. And I like this. He looks like a bit like Miguel O'Hara from freaking Spider-Verse or whatever, but no one tell. At this point, there are only a few hours left, and I only had 9 attacks, which is a reasonable amount, but 10 just sounds like so much better. Like 10 is a whole extra digit. So I was like, I gotta like at least squeeze in one more, and spill the tea animatics that attacked me earlier in the month with this freaking awesome drawing of my character Sky, and it's so whimsical. Well, like not really, because she looks quite sad, but I mean their art style is whimsical. And I was like, gotta get bro back. And I thought I'd go again like black colours kind of vibe, cell shading, and some nice line art. And I honestly thought the last few months that I just lost my ability to do clean line art, but then it's like come back to me. I'm like, whoa, Artfight, you've healed me. And I'm actually quite pleased with how this came out, especially in the amount of time it took. Well, this is kind of fire. Kind of baby smooth. That's kind of clean. And it waxed some little shapes in the background, added an outline, and then boom shakalaka. That's freaking Kasey Taylor. Talk to my Kasey Taylors in chat. And then after this, I thought, yeah, I'm totally done now. I'm gonna go have my dinner. And I came back up, and there was about 40 minutes left. And for some reason, I thought that was just enough time to do 2 more attacks. I was like, yeah, I can get 2 more done, and 12's a nice number. So it has to be 12 and not 11. That was not true. I could not do 2 more attacks. I'm honestly surprised I finished 1 attack. This is a revenge for Dusty Asher 01, who drew this very whimsical little errantivillage here. And they had a lot of, like, really, like, effective, simple designs. So I was like, this is perfect for the time limit. And I drew their character Alden, because he just had a joyful little mischievous face, and I was like, I want to get on that. And, to be honest, don't know how I did it that fast, but I'll take it. He looks quite joyful. Nice way to top off the year, and I freaking did it, guys. That's the final one, I did it. I survived Artfight. Let's freaking go. Hopefully next year I will be more prepared and I can do more attacks. But I hope you enjoyed watching this, guys, and have a splendiferous day. Yippee!